Hello, welcome. How are you today? Let's see, we've got Mumsy in the house. My hair's weird. Oh my goodness. I hope you're having a good week. Oh, might help if I move my microphone. Is that better? Welcome. Oh goodness. I went to take a nap and I fell asleep. But that's why I have the alarm set on my phone. And so I'm here, and even though it's 9 p.m., and I thought that I was over the jet lag, but I guess I'm not. So I've got crazy crimes for you guys tonight from Cambodia. I only had time to go through and open a few. I know it's been like a month. It's been August since I did the last one, but that's okay. I was gonna try and like get through as many as possible. Only a few minutes late, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I've got a few for you. Skipped over a lot of the, like, I guess what would be normal for us, to try and just get some more odd ones. So I guess let me share my screen. Okay, there we go. Okay. So first up, there was a man arrested for killing his ex-wife over their baby. That doesn't happen too often here. It has happened, but not so often. And so this is the guy. And so let's see. He fatally shot his former wife and he injured 4 others in a custody battle over their 20-month-old son in Persat province. What's also odd about this is shooting. Not a lot of people have guns unless they're actually in the military, or work in the capacity like as a security guard or something, or a police officer. So he's only 34 years old, and his ex-wife was 30. It's another thing. There's not a lot of divorce or ending marriages here either. But they did get divorced. They were living separately. The 20-month-old son was living with the mother and her family. And so over the Phnom Penh festival, which was just celebrated. Sometimes people call it Ancestors Day, because it's when you show respect for your ancestors. A lot of different rituals, a lot of going to the pagodas. So it's a very big cultural festival here. So the guy Namiang, yeah, says he's a businessman. It's probably he just owns some kind of shop. He went to visit his son without informing the mother or her relatives, and he brought the boy back to his house. So, and it says on September 25th. Let me check what day of the week that was. That was 25th was a Thursday. All right. So the next day on Friday, the mother and 4 relatives hired a minibus, that's a van, and traveled to his house to retrieve the child, which was allowed by the suspect without incident. Okay, so he gave the boy back. But the next day, Saturday, as they were returning to Kampong with the child, he pursued them in his car, overtook the van, and then attempted to forcibly take back the boy. When they refused to hand him over, he opened fire, shooting at least 10 rounds. And then he fled, discarding his handgun nearby. The driver was able to call the police, who responded promptly and then transported all the injured to the hospital. And then she died later. And they did catch him, and he's been charged with murder and possession of a firearm. So there's that. That kind of drama does not happen often. You can't keep your eyes open so you know the feeling. I know, Mumsy. And you didn't even have to go get on an airplane for 16 hours. Okay. Well, next up, one dead and one seriously injured after foreigners fight with knives in Phnom Penh. So there's the ambulance coming to get everybody. Broad daylight. So this is not something that happens very often. Let's see which kind of two foreigners. They're from China or what? Blocked out, but yeah, he's kind of bloody. Indonesians. Well, that's unusual. They argued and cut and stabbed each other, seriously injuring one and killing the other in Bang King Kong Mui 1, BKK 1. And that is an area that is a more of a rich area in Phnom Penh. So yeah, not a lot happens in BKK 1. They were in their one was in his 20s and the other one was in his 30s. Residents heard a loud argument coming from the second floor apartment. So the residents ran out to see, saw the two foreigners standing there fighting, causing one man to fall from the second floor onto the roof. Lots of pictures. And they're not even okay. This is the injured guy. What? And they're gonna put him in a tuk-tuk to take him to the hospital, or what? Look at the. Here's the guy. He's pretty bloody, and they're just putting him into a tuk-tuk. Reminds me of the story I told you guys about the incident that happened here at my house, which is, you can go back and watch. Probably find it in the true crime playlist, maybe in the real Cambodia playlist as well. Oh my goodness! Remember in my story what happened at my house? The guy was stabbed and bleeding, and they asked me, well, do you want us to take him to jail or do you want us to take him to the hospital? I'm like, he's got to go to the hospital. You know, like, why are they even asking me? Okay, let's see what your comments are. Yeah, oh no. Okay, military officer and wife charged in a triple homicide. I have not read this, but this isn't. Now, I can tell you something interesting in this picture. Notice all these tattoos on his arms. These aren't just pictures. There's like a lot of Khmer writing on his arms. That means these are magic tattoos, probably done the old-fashioned way with a stick, where they got a stick and somehow they make a groove in the stick that has some kind of ink in it, and then they'll tap 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 like that to do the tattoo. So he thinks he's invincible. He thinks because he has these magic tattoos that nothing bad's ever going to happen to him. Oh my gosh, it was a dispute involving a dog and a grilled fish. Happened in Kampot province. and he was a military officer, his wife, and a young man. So they arrested 3 people for shooting at a family of 7, resulting in 3 deaths and 1 injury. So about 8:30 at night, the quarrel had broken out because the victim's dog had eaten the family's grilled fish. Yeah, only in Cambodia, right? The accused was 42 years old, his wife, who was probably around the same age, and her friend, who was 21. Oh, interesting. I did not know that we have a criminal code that is murder accompanied by cruelty. They both face a life term, life in prison. So the 21-year-old drove the person who did the shooting by motorcycle from Kampot to Takao province. Those are 2 provinces right next to each other. And they are currently in custody. That's it. Wow. So all we know is that the dog stole the fish, and then this military officer pulled out his gun and started shooting the dog owner. Wow. Yeah, it's does not happen. It's the first I've ever heard of that. This one I thought was interesting because it's in Siem Reap, and you don't usually get much crime going on in Siem Reap, other than maybe bag snatching or something, and price gouging because of the temples. But here's our standard picture of the rival gangs that they arrested and all their weapons of destruction. Basically a lot of machetes and pipes and, metal bars. I wonder if that's nunchucks. Or here, maybe. 11 people between these rival gangs. 4:00 in the afternoon. Let's see. Total of 12 people. They're all young. They're all in their 20s. In one group, and the second group, mostly 18, 16, 17, 19, one that's 28. So they confessed that they did indeed use violence and weapons to fight each other, causing injuries. Let's see, the square iron rod, 1 concrete slab, a hatchet, 3 knives, a rubber mallet, a samurai sword, a folding knife, 2 axes, a modified gun, and other drug paraphernalia. So then one person got away, but they have identified him, and they're getting an arrest warrant to get him. So I guess, they were going after each other, but thankfully nobody died. And I hope that their arrest gets them on the straight and narrow. Hey, Gibbo is in the house. Thank you for joining. This one was kind of interesting. A Chinese man's body was found partly buried. I did see an earlier story on this as well. This was like the latest one. Basically, there was a tuft of hair. They talk about a shallow grave. There was a tuft of hair that was sticking out that a passerby noticed. Chinese man. They figure it's Chinese on Chinese crime. They are hunting for a group of suspects in connection with the torture and death of a compatriot, another Chinese person whose partially buried body was discovered in a cornfield near the Vietnam border in Tabang, Khmer province. So around 11:30 a.m. is when somebody, the worker, spotted the corpse after noticing the head, it says, but it wasn't the whole head, it was the hair. They immediately alerted authorities. The man is in his 30s. He was found with a shirt wrapped around his face and his hands were handcuffed. They believe that he was buried at night and then they fled the scene. They say that according to his injuries that they believe he was tortured for several days. This is probably either one of the scam call centers or a gambling debt. So that's sad. Next up, I haven't read this story, but this headline caught my attention. Phnom Penh phone thief nabbed after a sewer escape bid. So he tried. Now here he's up on the roof here, but then he tried to flee in a sewer. Or do they mean an open canal, or what? What kind of sewer? This was in Phnom Penh, in Mien Che. 25 years old. He snatched the phone from a bystander and then immediately ran away, climbing a light pole, and then climbed on the roof where we get this picture. Meanwhile, the police are surrounding the building that he's on. So yeah, he jumped into a drainage canal to escape, but the police got him and the phone was recovered. So good on the police for catching the stupid criminal of the day. Yeah, yuck. Okay. 1 dead and 2 injured in a speedboat hit and run. So yeah, this is unusual. First of all, there's not a lot of speedboats, all right, in the whole country. Most boats are local fishing boats. They're ferries. They're not, high speedboats. Not a lot of jet skis either. There was a story, I didn't bring it up, about someone was on a jet ski here in Phnom Penh, in the rivers here, and they fell off and drowned. And then they did find, it took about 2 or 3 days before they found him downriver. But here we had 2 speedboats in Battambang province. So this is on the Tonle Sap Lake. Here's another boat here with lots of people on it. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the evening. Dead and injured was a 16-year-old female, a 20-year-old female. Injured was a 15-year-old male who was Vietnamese, but living in Cambodia. After the incident, the drivers of both boats fled the scene, and authorities are conducting an investigation into the incident. Both boats, evidence from both boats has been confiscated. Here's baby Wilbur. Wants tuna. All right. And our last one for today. Phone returned after a Phnom Penh snatch. I thought we'd end on a good note here. Here are the police returning this phone to its rightful owner. It does happen. So 2 miscreants had snatched his phone. Let's see, the suspect was 40 years old. That's pretty old to be phone snatching. In Phnom Penh. And an 18-year-old. Okay. Well, that makes more sense. The 18-year-old is probably the one that did the snatching. They were both arrested. They admitted it. They confessed to it. That's it. That's all we have. But, there you go. Police doing a good job. This is the gendarmerie police, the military police. Yeah. Good things do happen. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. And next week we'll catch up on whatever's going on. You guys got any questions or anything? Let me remind you that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're watching this, I love you, even when I'm sleepy. When I go back to bed. Had my first day of class today with the university. 7 students. Oh, what a dream. What a dream. Not 30 or 40, but only 7 students. There are 17 registered. Okay, so I could end up with a few more students, but even 17 students if they all show up. It's just amazing. I'll be teaching them how to write a paragraph. Yeah, I'm going to go back to sleep. I'll check out what's going on in YouTube before I go to sleep. And then tomorrow we'll have a general trivia. Have some fun with that. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I hear a weird sound of animals outside. Like, I guess it's a cat, but it really sounds weird. But you're going to go back to sleep too. Okay, good. So until tomorrow, catch you later.